ever had an MRI scan? You know, the big donut-shaped machine that makes all those loud noises? It might feel a bit intimidating, but this incredible device can see inside your body without a single cut. It's one of the most important medical breakthroughs of the 20th century. But have you ever wondered who we have to thank for it? The story is a bit more complicated than you might think, and it's filled with passion, controversy, and a relentless pursuit of a vision. Let's rewind to the early 1970s. The world of medical imaging was very different. We had X-rays, which were great for looking at bones, but not so good for soft tissues, like muscles, organs, or the brain. Doctors needed a better way to see what was happening inside the body without resorting to risky surgery. Enter Dr. Raymond Damadian, a physician and scientist from New York. Damadian was a man with a big idea. He was fascinated by nuclear magnetic resonance, or NMR, a phenomenon where atomic nuclei in a strong magnetic field absorb and re-emitted electromagnetic radiation. At the time, chemists were using NMR to study the molecular structure of chemicals in test tubes. But Damadian had a revolutionary thought. What if you could use this same principle on a living human being? His hypothesis was bold. He believed that cancerous tissues would have different NMR signals compared to healthy tissues because they contain more water. If he could detect these differences, he could potentially diagnose cancer at its earliest stages. Many in the scientific community were skeptical. They thought the idea was far-fetched, even impossible. Applying NMR to something as large and complex as the human body seemed like science fiction. But Damadian was undeterred. He was driven by a deep personal motivation. As a child, he had watched his grandmother die a painful death from breast cancer. The memory fueled his determination to find a better way to fight the disease. So, he and his small team of graduate students got to work. They spent countless hours in their lab at the Downstate Medical Center in Brooklyn, trying to prove their theory. In 1971, they had a breakthrough. They published a landmark paper in the journal Science, showing for the first time that cancerous rat tumors could be distinguished from healthy tissue using NMR. This was a huge step forward. It was the first time anyone had shown that NMR could be used for medical diagnosis. It was the proof of concept Damadian needed. With this initial success, Damadian filed for the first patent for an MRI machine, which he described as an apparatus and method for detecting cancer in tissue. He then set out to build the world's first full-body MRI scanner. This was a monumental task. He and his students had to build this massive machine from scratch. They affectionately named their first prototype Indomitable, a name that perfectly captured their unyielding spirit in the face of widespread doubt. Building Indomitable was a heroic effort. They had to wind the massive superconducting magnet coils by hand. The process was grueling and fraught with challenges. Finally, after years of relentless work, the machine was ready for its first human test. On July 3, 1977, one of Damadian's brave graduate students, Larry Minkoff, volunteered to be the first person scanned. The first attempt failed, but they didn't give up. They worked through the night, troubleshooting and fine-tuning the machine. On the next attempt, it worked. After nearly 5 hours inside the machine, they produced the very first human MRI. Image a cross-section of Larry's chest. It was grainy, it was crude, but it was a window into the human body like no one had ever seen before. It was a historic moment. Damadian had proven that his crazy idea was not only possible but had the potential to change medicine forever. From that first blurry image, Mr. I technology has evolved at an astonishing pace. Today's MRI scanners are faster, quieter, and produce stunningly detailed images of our organs, brains, and joints, helping doctors diagnose everything from torn ligaments to brain tumors with incredible precision. The story of Raymond Damadian is a powerful reminder that groundbreaking discoveries often come from those who dare to challenge the status quo and persevere against all odds. His vision and his indomitable spirit laid the foundation for a technology that saves countless lives around the world every single day. So the next time you hear the rhythmic thumping of an MRI machine, you'll know the incredible story of passion and persistence behind it. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of science and technology. See you in the next video.